what I was on. I'd pull up in the newspapers, like UCLA Medical's doing this study. This is before opiates was an epidemic. I'd pull up in the parking lot, like, start sweating, like, I don't need to do this. I can do it myself. So for 3 years, I was trying to get off that.
Wow. I mean, that's so insane because I don't know that we talk about this as much, right? Because that was a 3-year struggle for you.
That I was trying to hide and...
Yeah. Why? It sounds like there was a lot of shame around that.
Or I felt like I was trapped. It's a scary feeling because you don't want to tell anybody, but then you look insane. So all my business partners were like, dude, something's wrong with you. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
What's your problem?
What's your problem, dude? I'm working.
Asshole.
So I looked completely, I was just coming to a point where my business partner was like, dude, something's wrong with you. You're doing the wrong things. You're making a lot of mistakes. I was getting sloppy with everything. And it was coming to an end. So then my ex took off with my daughters.
And that was just all part of it.
That was part of the whole thing. And that was when, that's when she took off. 2 weeks later, I was in rehab.
What's up, everyone? You are listening to Wake Up Naked. I am your host, Esmey Leon. We're going in deep into ourselves. We're going to be talking about ideas and concepts and things that have the potential to actually change our lives. So get excited, get ready, and what are you waiting for? Come over here and get naked with me.
What's up, team? My name is Esmey, and I want to welcome you to the Wake Up Naked podcast. I'm here with one of my favorite human beings in the entire world, Brett Beck. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
So Brett is the creator of Believe Pursue, the creator of Beck Fit, correct? And Bella Booty
Fitness.
Bella Booty Fitness. So you have created many products throughout this lifetime.
Yeah.
And I know that you put on your Instagram as one of, and this is what stood out to me, and I can vouch for it, grateful human.
Oh, yeah.
So, B, what has made you a grateful human?
Everything that I've gone through in life.
What?
Life in general, Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay. I mean, I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations in life. I've seen the ups and I've seen the downs.
Yeah. Can you tell us about what's been the most challenging thing you have ever had to overcome?
Finding my true self.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably been the most challenging.
What led you to that?
Pretty much losing everything at a later age in life. After being very successful at an early age. And starting over. So it's kind of at age 35, everything was gone.
Everything?
Yeah, I had a pair of shoes and a pair of shorts left.
Holy shit.
Kids, house, business, all my business partners pulled away from me. And I literally had to start all over. And I could have went different routes, right? Obviously, I went into a rehab, which I thank God for. But that wasn't even it. It was I was ready for it. I could have rebelled against it, but I really took the time to went through rehab, therapy, a bunch of stuff, which we can get into, whatever, and really wanted to find out who I truly was because I didn't know. I was completely lost.
Wow. Yeah. And I think for that, those are make or break moments, and you could have gone either way.
Oh, yeah.
But you chose to find yourself.
Yeah.
What did that journey look like for you?
I don't wish it on anybody. That journey was me losing everything at 35, going into a rehab with a huge open mind. And for me, I was an entrepreneur from a young age. So I always did when I wanted something, I gave it 150% and I went after it. And I figured out a way to make it work always. And so when I went into rehab, I went to a 12-step recovery program called GADS up in Glendale. And I went in there with like, okay, I want to learn. I want to learn what you guys have to offer, whatever. I was scared shitless. I didn't mean to say that.
No, you could say shit.
Yeah. But I went in there and I took the time, did a 12-step program, had a lot of therapy, and did opposite of what my brain was telling me to do. Because there was many times through that whole transition where, because my kids were in another state, where I could have taken jobs. Financially, I could have made major come-ups. But jobs were laid in front of me from therapists and other individuals that just opened doors that I would have never done in my life before. A lot of manual labor stuff, $8 to $10 an hour jobs.
So just to give everyone a little bit background, you at the age of 22 with partners created a multi-million-dollar company.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I did it a couple times.
Yeah. So twice in your 20s, you were a millionaire.
Oh, I mean, we made it. Yeah.
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 And this is what you're saying, that you went from that to working jobs that were $8 to $10 an hour.
Moving, painted houses, worked at a ranch up in Temecula, which I thank God. At the time, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? No way. You know? But I didn't really I didn't want to go jump back into business.
Why not?
It didn't feel right. So even the ones that I was taking, the jobs that I was taking, I was against it. Like my ego, what I call it, all those were is ego.
I was going to say, tell me more about the ego. What was it saying to you? Like the moment where you lost everything and you had to pretty much choose, make it or break as far as Brett goes. What was the ego saying and how did you overcome it?
I had to shut up. I had to shut up and listen. And I think I had a lot of people around me. And I had to really...
What do you mean? A lot of good people, a lot of bad people?
A lot of great people. A lot of great people. You know, I learned a lot from the 12 steps, right? Through that program. But I also learned a lot through a lot of the people that were surrounded around me at the time during this growth. Because I was like angry. I was very angry.
What were you angry about?
Well, my daughters were gone in another state. You know, and I had no capital to fight for them. So either I could have jumped back into business with people I didn't care about doing business with and try to financially make a comeback, or I really just did the opposite and kept trying to find out who I was, build my character, find out what I wanted to do in life. As I mend the relationships back and build the relationships back with people that I want to build them back with.
Did you ever lose relationships throughout this process?
I lost a lot of relationships, you know, but a lot of relationships I didn't want anymore, you know? So it's kind of like I closed off. I was in Glendale and that was kind of like my home for 3 years and just kind of just more self-discovery.
How important do you think it is for other people to go on this self-discovery journey?
Oh, I think it's huge. I mean, if you can get the time, if you can get the time, I think you have to make the time. If you truly want to find out who you are, like some people already know that. I didn't at the time, right? Some people have it. They know who they are. They've been through it. My life was different. So it's like, I was always chasing dollars. Being an entrepreneur, I was always working.
That's so interesting,
right?
Because I think that's been personally one of the things that I've noticed since I moved to LA. What is that balance between, chasing dollars, chasing your dreams, but also staying rooted and staying connected to a soulful purpose?
Well, yeah, just think about this though. If you don't know what your root is, or you don't know what your soul purpose is, but you're out here chasing like a lot of these people are, which, you know, I'm not judging at all, but a lot of people don't have that ground. You know what I'm saying? They're chasing their dreams, but they're not rooted.
Sometimes
that makes sense.
Absolutely. I even wanted to add that sometimes people, and myself included, don't even know that you had roots.
Yeah.
Don't even know that there's roots to water.
Yeah.
So you're just, I feel like forever chasing something, but it'll never be fulfilling unless you're rooted in something that actually matters to your heart.
Yeah.
So do you think that someone can have that as far as like a heart purpose, but then also be a crazy millionaire? And
Well, I think about the crazy millionaire, it doesn't matter about if you have money or not, right? It's just how you are as a human being. So I know humans that make a lot of money, and I know humans that don't make a lot of money. And they're both bad. There's both bad and good, or not bad and good, but so it's fast paced, slow paced. There's people, if you know who you are and you give back and you love how can I explain that? I don't think it's about the money. I don't think you can call just because someone makes money, he's a crazy millionaire, right? Obviously, there's crazy people.
oh, right. No, I meant like I don't mean like the person's crazy,
Yeah.
but I think sometimes people feel like it's either the money and success, quote unquote success,
Yeah.
or being a good person. And I think that you could be both, but
Of course. Yeah.
I'm wondering your perspective about that
Totally.
and your experience with it, because I think that you have been that millionaire. You've had millions, lost it, had millions and lost it. But I feel like with that, you have a different sense and a deeper knowledge than others might have. So I'm curious about your perspective.
Well, I think losing everything was the best thing that ever happened to me, and I can say that 10 years later.
Really, why?
Because I finally found out who I am and truly what I like, what I love about myself. Like I know who I am for the first time. I don't know how to explain that to anybody, but
well, tell me, who are you now?
I'm Brett Beck.
Brett Beck, bitch. Okay, I like it.
So I think losing everything was the big wake up call for me, because when I was younger, I didn't know. I mean, I was out of control, dude. Completely out of control. Self-centered, completely out of control.
Really?
I wasn't a bad person. I was a young entrepreneur, and I lived the fast life. So it's like, I love to work hard and play hard. And growing up, I'm 46. That's how, like in the 90s and 80s, that's how we grew up. Coming from like Texas.
Mm-hmm.
We worked hard, we played hard, right?
Yeah. Tell me about one of the craziest things you've ever done.
No way.
I want to know. You could PG-13 it.
Maybe one of the times I took off to Mexico. Like, I don't remember how I got there. And I was there for like 4 weeks. They had to cancel my credit cards. My banker had to cancel my credit cards because my family tracked me down where I was.
Oh, so
and
your
gave
family
me just enough money to get home. I don't need to tell the rest of that story.
You said it. That's awesome.
That's one of them.
that's insane. So you flew to Mexico, but you don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember getting there.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
That makes complete sense. Well, I've never flown to a different country and not remembered, but I've definitely
done that quite a few
walked
times.
Across campus and not remembered how I got there. I'm like, wait, where am I?
There's a lot of crazy stuff that went on.
So. Okay, so you've lived a lot, you've gained a lot, you've lost a lot. What are you most proud of now?
I think I'm most proud of for proud about myself, or proud of in general.
Either one.
Let me see. I would have to say I'm proud of who I am today, the decisions I make on a daily basis. I'm proud of my daughters, especially my other two that live in Colorado, from what they went through and who they are today.
Do they have did they ever get to see the other dad? Or are they
No. When they left at 2 and 3, I was always up in the morning, Mr. Happy. Because mine wasn't alcohol, mine were pills.
Okay.
I got addicted to opiates.
So
but I took them for energy.
Right.
And then it progressively came worse.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd love to know a little bit more about that. Not in the sense, because I know that you've dealt with that addiction, you went through rehab, and I know that a lot of people deal with all types of addictions. So you said I'd love to know a little bit more about your specific addictions. And I know that you mentioned this trip to Mexico, but maybe give us an example of maybe one of the scariest episodes, only because I feel like this will, anyone else dealing with addictions, like what you've been through and how you got out of it.
Yeah.
I'm more interested in whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
So what do you want first? What are we saying?
What can you go a little more in depth about the addiction phase in your life?
The addiction phase, you know, I was always a socialite. So I was running nightclubs in my 20s in Dallas, Texas. So I was in the clubs all the time. So progressively, my addiction, I did every drug in the book you can think of. I tried it all, right? But I never got chemically, physically addicted to something. I could always pick it up, stop, pick it up, stop, pick it up, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Out of control, like usual. You're
like any kid. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But when I got on pain meds, I didn't even know what they were. I was in China the first time when I tried them, and I was hungover. And a business associate of mine, we were driving back, and it's the first time I've ever done. I'd never got into pills. No one did pills back then. Everybody did like cocaine or ecstasy or something like that to have a good time. So I remember I was hungover and we had to go to a meeting, and I was like, man, dude, I'm not going to make this meeting. He's like, dude, you have to. And he goes, here, take 4 of these. You're going to pull over, get a bottle of water on the side of the road. We'll get a bottle of water, shot 4 of them down. I'm like, what are these? He's like, oh, they're pain meds. I said, dude, I'm not in pain. I'm like hungover. I can't talk. And you want me to go present all this shit, right?
Right.
Dude, within 20 minutes, I felt like Superman. I felt I could talk. My brain reacted faster. I'm like, what, dude, what are these? There's obviously a mix up. Maybe they don't understand it's better for your brain.
These are good.
These are good. These are like Sammy's.
I need to give these to my mom.
Sammy's, right? These are happy pills. So I'm happy now.
Yeah.
So now I can party even harder.
Yeah.
And work even harder.
Yeah.
Right. So that started off. And when that started, for first couple of years, it was like 3 a.m, 3 p.m. I go to the gym, still work out, 3 for my workout.
And so for 2 or 3 years, you took them on a daily basis?
Oh, for a lot more than 3. Yeah. A long time.
Yeah.
But that's how it started. Then it progressed. Then it got into harder. Then it went from a certain amount of pills to a lot amount of pills. Then it went into switch it over. So it's like, it progressed. And I literally, for 3 years, when I moved out here, I was trying to get off of them. I'm like, I didn't want to do them anymore. I wasn't out partying at the nightclub. It wasn't about that. It was about, I could not stop. And I was trying to hide it from everybody. And it got worse. Yeah. So
what was the break moment? Where you knew you had to change, like that moment?
I knew my business, one of my products got knocked off in the international market.
What does that mean?
I was running infomercials, and one of my infomercials was running internationally. And so my business, I moved out here. It was, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. And one of my products got knocked off. I was taking on too much work, trying to make up for that income, reinvesting income into other projects. I didn't have any other team here. My drug use skyrocketed. So it was all coming down. And usually being up and down in business, I knew I could pull it off. Like I knew I could turn something around and make something work. This time I knew it was coming to an end. And I don't even know how to explain to anybody, but I knew it was coming to an end and I was going to be able to get out of this one. And I couldn't get off what I was on. I'd pull up in the newspapers, like UCLA Medical's doing this study. This was before opiates was an epidemic. I'd pull up in the parking lot, like, start sweating, like, I don't need to do this. I can do it myself. So for 3 years, I was trying to get off that.
Wow. I mean, that's so insane because I don't know that we talk about this as much, right? Because that was a 3-year struggle for you.
I was trying to hide and...
Yeah. Why? It sounds like there was a lot of shame around that.
I felt like I was trapped. It's a scary feeling because you don't want to tell anybody, but then you look insane. So all my business partners were like, dude, something's wrong with you. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I'm fine.
I'm fine.
What's your problem?
What's your problem, dude? I'm working.
Asshole.
So I looked completely. I was just coming to a point where my business partner was like, dude, something's wrong with you. You're doing the wrong things. You're making a lot of mistakes. I was getting sloppy with everything. And yeah, it was coming to an end. So then my ex took off, my daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was just all part of it.
That was part of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when, that's when she took off. 2 weeks later, I was in rehab. Put it that way.
Now, let me ask you, as far as rehab, was that an easy decision to go in, or what was that like for you?
Dude, the easy decision was for me. I wanted to get into rehab because I tried to stop on my own. I couldn't do it. The hardest decision was giving up my control. Because being my own business, like when I went to college for about a year and left, told my parents, here's your credit cards. I'm out. I'm going to do my own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I started my first business, took off. So I was always controlling my path.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time in my life, I got into rehab, didn't know I was scared shitless, but I knew I had to get off this.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I started, that was the first week was just horrible, obviously. A lot of people have gone through rehab, so they know that.
Are you talking about withdrawals?
The withdrawals, then your kids being gone, your business is being taken. Everything is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then finding out that my house is getting packed up, cars sold, so I have nothing to come out to. Daughters aren't coming back. So I was in there angry as shit. But I finally was like, well, dude, I put the white flag up finally. I said, this is the time. Nothing's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to take advantage of this, like 150%, and really do everything is to best of my ability to learn. Because that's when I was like, okay, I need this, but I didn't know how in depth it was going to be. And I thought I was going to go in, clean up, get back out, get in business. And no, it wasn't that at all.
Well, you hear a lot about people going into rehab and then going back. Did you go once and then?
That was it. I'll never go back. I will never make that. I always go forward. Mm-hmm. Some people say, oh, you're too cocky with your sobriety. I'm like, dude, no, I just know who I am and I know what I like in life and I know what I want to do with my life. And I don't think any amount of pressure or hurt, because the pain I had to go through still go through. There's still stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But I think it's much needed in some areas of your life. I wouldn't take a step backwards. I wouldn't do it to myself, do it to people around me. I don't think any amount of pressure could push me to that point. I know it could.
To go back into rehab, to make a choice that would put you back into rehab.
Yeah, it's a choice you have. Mm-hmm. And if you look at addiction, everything you see addiction is, pretty much everybody has some type of addiction.
Absolutely.
Problem with drugs and alcohol is you get addicted to an addictive supplement. So before you got habit forming, then you get chemical forming, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to break habits, which takes a long time to do. Mm-hmm. Then when you're chemically addicted to something like an alcohol or a drug or a pill, you've got to kick that too. So there's a lot of different habits, chemical dependencies, and everything else that you've got to switch your habits. So like when I went straight into fitness. That was my outlet. I made it I worked out 3 times a day.
Yeah. I like that you said that, because I'm sitting here and thinking, well, what do you say to someone who is like defaulting back into rehab? Do you think part of it's just your personality, how you said you just move forward? Or was it more important that you filled it with a different habit like fitness?
Well, you have to change habits with other habits. I think it was a combination. For me, every case is different. For me, I was ready to switch habits. Now, let's say if I would have said, oh, screw it, I'm going to get back into business. You would have never known. I don't think I would have used, but I don't think I'd be who I am today, if that makes any sense. So
Absolutely.
for the long road that I took was much needed for building the character that I am today, I guess, if that makes any sense.
I think so. And I like what you're distinguishing here, because you could have gone out, you know how to do business, you're a businessman.
Yeah.
Right? So you could have, out of rehab, just gone back into that world. And who knows, maybe you could have gone in there and stayed sober. But the fact that you went a whole nother way, took your time, were working these jobs that were $8 to $10.
Humbling shit.
Humbled as fuck.
Oh man, I remember the most humbling day. Is that bad?
No, not at all. Please.
The most humbling day is I was working for a moving company and we had to move. And we pull up in front of the first office I had on Wilshire Boulevard. And the truck pulls up in front of the building. And I had my moving shirt on. And he goes, you get out of the truck, get up to the fourth floor. And I love this guy. They own the company. So I drive with him on a daily basis. I'm like, dude, I sat in the car. I'm like, I know all these people in this. I had the corner office up at the 10th floor. I didn't say that yet, but I was just looking up there. I'm like, holy shit. I know all these. They did all my, they were running my infomercial there. I had VIP parking there back in the day. And now I'm going to go up there in a moving shirt. He's like, and I sit in the truck and he goes, get up there, go check on the floor. And I'm like, dude, I can't go in there. This is my old office. He goes, you want to get paid, right? Something like that.
So did you go up there?
I had to sit for like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
This is screw it. It's just my ego.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody think, but that moment, I had a lot of humbling moments. That one hit me hard because that was when I moved to LA and I had everything because I always wanted to be where I was at in Santa Monica. That was my goal.
Yeah.
And I made it and I lost it all.
Yeah.
All myself doing, nobody else's.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's part of that whole moment was like, holy shit.
Yeah. And now you're back in a moving shirt, which there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
But it's just in the whole.
Because now I like help my friends move. I do, you know what I'm saying? So it's like all these traits, but all the traits really taught me a lot as well too, is along the way. So like when I worked specifically for that company, I was still angry. So moving all day was helping me.
Oh, moving was helpful, like using the
painting
physical.
Taught me kind of patience again because I hated painting. How like outside of homes in the sun.
Painting is not.
I like paint a picture.
No, but painting homes, right?
Detail, and then or it's not good enough. The guy goes, "Oh, go do it again." I'm like, "Dude, I just spent a day on this. Well, it's not good."
Or the color is a little off. I don't know, because believe it or not, I was in the painting business.
Yeah.
In college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but all those jobs align when I look back now, when they were laid in front of me, when I was like, no, I don't want to do this. Well, you're going to do it? Okay, I'll do it. Was there for a reason.
Yeah.
And I thank God for them.
And, someone once said the worst day for the ego is the best day for the soul.
Yeah.
So I feel like that moment where it was all ego, because at the end of the day, what the fuck do we care what people think?
No,
and especially people that we don't. Isn't it funny, in my opinion, people we don't even care about, like those people that you didn't want to be anymore. Yeah. You didn't want to be that business guy that only cared about money and was only chasing the money, that is on coke. Not saying that all business people are on coke, but that lifestyle.
But that's all we cared about. And that's when when I got finally, it was like, I didn't know if I was going to get back into the direct to consumer business. I'm very happy training people. I love it. Mm-hmm. But it was one day it hit me. I'm like, dude, I got distribution all over the world. I'm good at what I do, but I'm going to go about it totally different. I'm going to take my time. And that's when we started Bully Pursue. Mm-hmm. And the reason we call it Bully Pursue is because we only work with people in projects that we believe in. So in products. Mm-hmm. So, and then I took my time. I have 3 partners. So I really took my time on my partnerships because I've been through a lot of crazy partnerships, all the wrong ones and all the good ones too, because I was a nightmare as well too.
What has been the best and the worst partnership you've ever had?
I mean, the best partnership probably would have been my first company.
Yeah.
Because we were all childhood friends and we were all out of control. And we were just like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
We fought all the time. It was crazy. Mm-hmm. But we figured things out and we all had our roles, right?
Yeah.
We went through our shit. The worst, I don't know. I think think I've had a worse partnership. It's been people we did business with.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got in bed with certain individuals that I didn't know too much about, and it was all the wrong people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to name any names.
Right. Yeah. No, you don't
But
have to.
just like when I go into business now, you really got to look at who you're dealing with because you're like married to them.
Mhm.
You start spending money with somebody and you start building a project with somebody, you're together no matter what.
Yeah.
So before I didn't really think of that. I'm like, oh, this project's good. Okay, I got some money, you got some money, let's run to it, and not knowing who I was getting involved with.
What do you look at for now? And it doesn't just have to be a business and partnership, but I know you have a wonderful wife. I know friendships, because I think this travels between categories.
Yeah.
So what are your top values in
what?
In when you're looking at going into partnership with either a business or?
Well, we have our own projects, right? But we also help a lot of young entrepreneurs, or maybe not just say young entrepreneurs, but entrepreneurs with their manufacturing decisions.
No, let's be honest. You just work with young people. You don't work with old people, right?
Older people. Yeah. What I mean by young entrepreneurs, like somebody that really hasn't been through it yet, right?
I'm just kidding with you. I'm just playing.
I got you.
We don't work with old people.
I look at the individual.
Mm-hmm.
I think because we're working with a couple different people now, and I get to know them as an individual. Even I know if our personality is going to clash, but I believe in who they are and what they're doing in their project. And I think if we can help them in any way, that's kind of what we do. Mm-hmm. A product, I look at it. Can it help? Will it help make someone more efficient? Mm-hmm. We stick to fitness right now, but we're going to be getting involved with other stuff too. We got our hands in on a couple other things.
Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you got as much out of that as I did. If you have not hit the subscribe button, make sure to go back and hit subscribe and keep coming back. Team, we are going to the top, and I will see you there. I'm out.